Hi everyone, I'm Robin with IMGS, and I just want to run you guys quickly through an example of using the recorder and player transformers in an FME workbench. The recorder and player transformers are really useful because they can save data features to a feature store file locally on your machine, and then you can use a player transformer to read those data features back into your workspace. In the example that we have on screen here, we have a database connection that would be reading in a number of data features from a database table, but the database connection runs quite slowly. So for testing and development and that type of thing, I want to create a local copy of that data and be able to read it into my workspace. So to do that, I would grab my recorder here and I'll connect it right up to the output of the reader in the FME workbench. And in terms of the settings, the recording mode here is record, and I don't have record pass through because I want the features to just be recorded in this transformer and not be moved through the rest of the workbench because it takes a little while to run. You're able to set the location of the output store file to somewhere local on your machine. You're also able to password protect the file as well, if that's something that's needed. You can also do different compression methods and that type of thing too. But in terms of the defaults, I'm happy with those and I'll click OK. And then I will run this. And it's going to record all of the data features from that database table and put them into an output FFS file. Then once that recorder has run and the data features have been saved to the FFS file, we're able to use a player to read those data features back into an FME workspace. So what we would do is disable the reader here, and the player will, for all intents and purposes, replace the reader. So we will connect to our inputs feature store file that we created, open that, and if it was password protected in the recorder, then you would enter that password here. And then you'll also expose attributes from your dataset that you want to use in your process further downstream. And then what you can do is we'll remove the recorder as well, and we can connect the player directly up to our process, and we're able to read in the data features. And now that's just one use case, but there are other use cases for this as well. So for example, if you were connecting to a web service, oftentimes there is a limit to the number of calls you can make to that web service. So you may create a kind of an offline file that you can use within your workbench. It can also be really useful as well for troubleshooting. So for example, if you have a ticket submitted with Safe Software and they're trying to see what's going on in your workbench, but they don't have access to your data, using a recorder and player transformer can be really useful in that case too. So that's just a very quick example of how to use the recorder and player transformers. Hopefully you guys found it helpful.